N-A-P-P-E-R.
No, then it's Napper.
Right.
But N-A-P-E-R, I could understand, the neighbor.
Right.
Right.
And it's weird.
Well,
Every set I've ever worked on, they can't get my name right. Lane. It's either been Lance,
Yeah.
Lincoln,
Yeah.
believe it or not, Link. I got Link one time.
From Lane.
From Fred Savage, the boy who played. Well, you
Yeah,
know, in the
Wonder Years.
He directs now. One day he was asking, "Hey, where's Link?" And
Link.
everybody cracked. Every set I'd ever been on, they got it.
It's really funny.
But it's all good. I love it.
And it's a head scratcher too, because it seems like Lane is a really easy name to.
So when I introduce myself, I always say, "Hi, I'm Lane." Like on the highway, right lane, left lane, and that's how they usually remember.
So this is Link Naper.
See how that is?
He is a choreographer on the. Is it not Link? It's not Link.
It's Lane Napper.
Lane Napper is
Yes.
what's happening here.
Come on, boo.
So this is Lane Napper, also known as Link Naper, if you're in Fred Savage land. And from what I was told, you are the brains and the beauty behind the absolutely breathtaking choreography in this show.
Okay.
Any truth to all of that?
I just like to start by saying, first of all, I'm a part of an amazing team, and I mean that sincerely. The directors, the producers, everybody across the board, and then the amazing cast. It's been so easy to work with them. No one is, like, it's honestly, it's like the best job you'll ever have. You just go to work, everybody collaborates, and we just throw it out there, and it just stuck. But this group is insane.
Well, Sean Whiteford was here before, and he said the dancers were picking up dances like they were learning a dance an hour or something crazy.
Oh, that's exactly
like that.
what we had.
That's mind-boggling.
Literally just a few hours to put this whole thing together, and what was so amazing is we would come in, and they would just be there, ready to go, and we would just do it. And I'd say, okay, you guys want to do it again? No music. They'd be like, no, let's just do it with music. Like they would just boom, 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 boom. Then I would check in with them, ask them how their bodies are, because there's a lot of thrashing, a lot of slamming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would check in with them and ask how their bodies are, and they were like, that's good. Let's just keep going. You
Wow.
know? So it was really cool.
But the way you're speaking makes it seem like that's not always the way the process is.
Well, I do a lot of, I don't know if you've heard, but I do a lot of television choreography. And I'm kind of known for the Disney Nickelodeon crowd.
Okay.
So this is the complete opposite of that.
Opposite.
So with the different networks I've been working with, we kind of take things a little slower.
Okay.
We work up to it. But with this, it was just like, let's do it. Let's just throw it in there and let's keep this thing popping. And so that's what they did, man.
You've only had 2 weeks.
I think for the dancers, I think even a little less than that if you added up the total hours that we worked on it. But what was cool is they would go home, they would digest it, they would work it, and then they would come back the next day knowing it. And so we could just keep moving.
I mean, how much easier does that make your
I
job?
love it. And the cool thing is, everybody got to bring in their own individuality. We would play with some stuff. If something didn't feel right on the body, we would tweak it. Or if they wanted to take it up a notch, we would take it up a notch. Like there's one number in particular, Whole Lot of Love, that the dancers really just, well, I don't know if you'll be able to see the show, but
Yeah.
It's hot, y'all. Be ready. Be ready. So that was it. And then we had a few other, well, there's a whole, everything, really. I mean, I can't just pick one out. 'Cause
Yeah.
everybody individually just collaborated and just really turned into it.
Is it hard when you start a project, but everyone has such different backgrounds, at least when it comes to choreography, not all the same training, not all the same experience, and you have to take them all and get them all on the same page?
I love that you said that. That's one of the things I think for a choreographer. The only way I can describe it is you've got a group of people at a Thanksgiving dinner table. And then this person, me, comes in,
Yeah.
and you're going to be sitting at the table carving this turkey. They're thinking, well, okay, who is he?
Right. We don't know that guy.
Right, we don't know this guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I feel like it's the same kind of thing.
Sure.
You're going in with dancers, and I'm the guy who's going to kind of carve that turkey in a sense.
Yep.
You want to do something that fits everybody's body. You want to do moves that everybody can do, but at the same time, you want to challenge and you want to bring your vision to life. So thankfully, everybody who was around that dinner table, everybody had the exact same portions of food. Some of them had a little bit more macaroni and cheese.
But
it's
everybody
all
was
good.
hungry for turkey,
Yes.
and they liked the way you carved it.
Big time. And sweet tea. I'm from the South, so
I
you
love
know
that.
you got to have sweet tea.
I love it all.
Yes.
What, if you're, I can only imagine what you're putting all these dancers through and what their bodies go through. I mean, how old is most of the dancers in the show?
That would be a question for the directors, honestly.
But I mean, they're not in their 50s.
No.
They're not in their 60s.
No.
You don't have anyone in their 70s. Like, you really don't let anyone in their 80s come in and dance for the show. No one in their 90s is in the show.
And if they were, they wouldn't tell you.
And they really.
Right, they wouldn't
Right.
tell you. So, yeah, honestly, it's hard for me to know how old anybody is.
And it doesn't matter. As long as they're talented,
They're doing it, boo. They are turning it out.
I love it. What's where did you start? How did you get into all this? Were you a dancer yourself?
I started in Virginia, born and raised in Virginia. Grew up there, and I started taking dance classes and acting classes there. From there, the school I was with, Terry School of Dance and Gymnastics in Virginia. I couldn't afford class, by the way. So what I did is I knocked on this lady's door, and I said, "Hey, I can't afford class, but I'll take out your trash, I'll clean your mirrors, I'll sweep the floors, I'll do whatever you need for classes." So she looked at me and she says, "You're hired, come on in."
Love.
So I started doing that. I was working there, sweeping it, cleaning it, doing it, and then I became part of a competition team where we would go to different studios and compete with other dancers. And so one of the judges saw me, kind of like American Idol. You have 3 judges.
Yeah.
They saw you up there, and they invited me to take a job in the Virgin Islands. It was a 6-month gig, and I had never been away.
What a crappy place to have to dance.
I know, right? So, but what happened was Hurricane Hugo happened then.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, I've never been in a hurricane either, so it was kind of crazy to be there when
Oh,
that
you were
happened.
down there actually when it. Oh.
When it happened, we were doing the show, and they said, "Okay, guys, we're going to have you guys move out of this room. We're going to take you downstairs." And that kind of got scary. But this is the true story. Trees, everything, road tore up. The hotel we were at was messed up. So people were sleeping on the floors in the ballroom. And this honeymoon couple, kid you not, I don't know what they saw in me. They said, "Listen, we have an extra room in our hotel. Why don't you come in there?" You know, so it was just so cool. You know, I wish I knew how to get in touch with those people to this day.
You will.
I think about them all the time.
You just put it out there. You'll see. It'll come back.
Cool.
That's how it works.
But I don't have
It'll come
Facebook.
back.
So anyway, but that's one of the ways. But yes, so putting it out there with you. So kept training, then ended up going
training for what kind of dance?
Tap, jazz, ballet, you name it. Every style
of it,
I would
wow.
just throw into it. And then Brooke Shields.
Like the Brooke Shields.
The Brooke Shields, she was like my guardian angel. We met in a class, we became friends. I would go over and hang out at her house.
What? First of all, what? You met Brooke Shields in a class? You became friends? Like, who glosses over a sentence like
Okay,
that?
you're right. I apologize for that.
By the way, I'm having lunch with the Pope on Thursday, but we'll talk about that later. You go on with your story about Brooke Shields.
As long as you serve macaroni and cheese and sweet tea,
Sweet tea?
you'll be all right.
All
Boom.
right,
So
good.
seriously, Brooke Shields was out in L.A. and she was taking dance classes because she was doing cabaret, or she hadn't done cabaret yet. She just finished Grease, I think it was. She was
Okay.
just getting her introduction to Broadway, but we became really good friends. We were in Frank Hatchett's dance class. It was jazz
Okay.
class at Broadway Dance Center. He was like the mentor of all dancers. So me and Brooke became friends. We started hanging out, and then one day she says, "Hey, you know, sometimes I get tickets to things if you ever want to go with me, because I really don't know too many people here." So she would invite me to little things that she would be doing and things. And like I said, we became friends. So fast forward, she was working on a show called Suddenly Susan. It was on NBC.
Yeah.
And so one day she came in and I said, "Hey, if they ever have anything on your show that I could do, let me know. I would love to do it." And she goes, "Well, we might need a stand-in." And for those who don't know, a stand-in is somebody who stands in for the other actors when they're getting hair and makeup done.
Okay.
So she invited me in. I took the job. Went to LA like a month later, to the day she had asked. Started working, started training. Then I became a dialogue coach, believe it or not. A dialogue coach, I would help other actors with their lines. But I was trained by some of the people on the set.
Okay.
So there was one man in particular, his name was Marty Nedboy. And Marty worked with everybody. Robin Williams, Gary Marshall, he worked with all of those people. So he says, "Listen, you show up to work early and you're always the last one to leave. And when you're there, you look at everything. Treat it like an entree and let it serve you." So I would do that. I would try to learn who did the lights. I would learn about choreography. I mean, I was trying to learn everything I could. So then, fast forward, I would go from one job to the next, and then a friend of mine, Will Bardelli, he works for Dr. Phil now, but he called me up and says, "Hey, I'm working on a show on Nickelodeon called All That." And we didn't have cable, in Virginia. I'm from a family of 6, by the way.
Wow.
5 boys, 1 girl. separated parents. So it's just, you know, we
Not
weren't
easy.
poor, but it just wasn't easy. And so started working on all that, started doing some choreography for them, and then that job led to another job and to another job, and I was blessed to go from different TV shows without an agent or a manager. So it turned into this thing, and it just kept going, thank God. Even to this day, it keeps going. I just got back like a few days before the audition for this, actually. I just wrapped some choreography on a TV show called Henry Danger.
Wow.
You know, Dan Schneider, he's the one who puts all these shows together.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider, he's called Schneider's Bakery, but he came up with the shows Kenan and Kel, Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, all that. So,
Yeah.
along with that, he asked me into the office. He says, I want you to choreograph a show that I'm working on called Victorious. It was brand new. It's about a performing arts school. He says, but I also want you to be one of the actors in the show. So, got a taste of that as well. So, yeah, so people kind of call me the male Debbie Allen.
Okay.
Because she acts, she dances, and she directs, things like that. She choreographs. So I'm kind of like that version. Not on her scale. I mean, she's a
Right,
goddess,
right.
you know, but
Right.
yeah, so I like to do it all.
We're talking to Lane Napper. He's the choreographer on Rock and Roll Debauchery, and his resume reads like War and Peace because he's done literally everything. Everything. I was literally like, where did you start? And then like 4 hours later, he's like, and then in 1974,
Tag.
I was, that's such a compliment. Who are some of the more interesting people you've worked with that maybe would surprise me, that are really great dancers, great movers, great people?
Let's see.
Did you work with the Pope?
I never worked with the Pope, but
Well,
she
then I
had
guess I
dinner
would.
That
with
would have been.
I
You would
guess
have
I won't be
known.
bringing that up on Thursday, because that, when we check that off, that's, do not bring up lunch with.
I don't know. I mean, I've had a chance. I mean, I've worked with not as far as dance, but being in scenes or things
Yeah.
like with Betty White.
Nice.
George Lopez. I was the dialogue coach on that show for a while, the George Lopez show.
Yeah.
Did that. Oh, but this is a fun fact. When I first went out to LA, we were in Warner Brothers, and our stage was here. It was Suddenly Susan. Right next to us was a show called Veronica's Closet with Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right next to her were Friends.
Wow.
Then across the way, like you could throw a rock, there was ER, and then there was the Drew Carey show. So one day at lunch, this is no joke. One day at lunch, they have a basketball court at Warner Brothers. All people would play basketball there. You know, you might see George Clooney or whoever playing basketball. It was
Right.
no big deal.
Sure.
So one day there was all of these women around the basketball court, and they were kind of like this.
Yeah.
You know, they had this look in their eye, and I was like, what is going on over there? Come to find out, they were filming Ocean's 11 there. So, what's his name? George Clooney, Brad Pitt, all of the guys from there. Shirtless, playing basketball out on the court. The girls were just like this.
I don't blame them.
It was
That's
crazy.
awesome.
It was crazy. So, it was just, you
Wait,
know.
what is that like? Everyone just goes to work every day, and they're all shooting at the same time. in their
Yeah,
different lots?
it's funny because like, and then Everybody Loves Raymond was filming at one point. I was on a stage, and you know, it's as funny as it's gonna sound. I think when you work at the Treasury Department and you see the money come in all the time, I
It
think
loses
after a
its
while
appeal,
it
right?
becomes paper.
Yeah.
And I think when
It's a
you're
really
working on a
good analogy.
set, like with all of these amazing dancers in Rock and Roll Debauchery, they become your friends, and you don't look at them any differently in
Yeah.
a sense.
Sure.
You know, some of them have really amazing resumes.
Right.
You know, and then when you think about the directors and the producers, where they came from, you become friends, you start hanging out. You know, it doesn't lose, but you just kind of take it to a different place,
Sure.
if that makes sense. So that's what happened with that.
So now you have Rock and Roll Debauchery. It lands on your lap. You get it. Are you coming up with the choreography on your own? Are you creating it? Or are you taking it from what has been passed down from?
This is all like for the choreography I set. It's all original stuff.
Like full on, you're making it up. You're gonna
Making
do
it up.
here. Your elbow's gonna go here. You're gonna. How do you do
I
that?
never checked any of the old footage. You know, I never wanted to have anything to resort. I wanted to just go with it. Like for that one song, Paradise City, to me that feels like a country western song. It's just very, you know, kind of slow, take me down and things like that. So I have the dancers kind of like almost like putting on cowboy hats
Right.
in a sense, and it's just very slow. I want it to be hot,
Yeah.
you know, rainy, desert kind of thing. So it's just each thing, and then we do Kiss from Prince.
Yeah.
And the girls who are doing that number, It is so hot and so sexy. So, and plus with Prince, we got to pay homage to that.
Sure.
So the movement is kind of, that vibe. So yeah, each dance was set with the intention of creating that particular concept with each song.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
But I still don't. I'm lost for how you can just create it. How do you see it? How do you see
I have to say I have two really good assistants. Celeste Marin, aka Beyonce Wannabe.
Sure.
And Cooper Flanagan, aka Kim Possible. And so what I do is we'll rent some space outside of this and we'll start playing with different movement. I'll tell them what my idea is because they can do all that bendy stuff, the flippy stuff. They can do all of that.
And you see all that.
I see it, and then we'll play with some stuff. And they got that hair, they got that whippy hair. So I'll say, let's try this, hit, look, and they'll say, hey, do you want this? And when they go forward with the hair, I'm like, let's do that.
Are you videotaping this when this is going on, or not?
Yeah, we have a lot of behind-the-scenes footage.
So you're videotaping it to help you with the creative process?
Yes. So I'll go home and study it and see what works, what doesn't work, and then what I like, what I don't like. There's certain things, and then sometimes you have choreography, not just with rock and roll debauchery. You might have television choreography, stage choreography, and sometimes a producer or a director might come in and say, "Hey, can we try this, or can we change that?"
Right.
And I'm from the school, when they ask you, just say, okay.
Sure.
I don't know. One job.
Right.
One job. It was the pilot of Victorious, and it looked like an MTV set. We had 18 dancers on that stage. They were flipping it. One of the producers, who shall remain nameless, came up to me and says, "Hey, Lane, you think we can get that guy to flip over the other guy?" And I said, okay. And I don't know why, but I leaned into him. I said, just out of curiosity, why do you want to do that? I had to know. So he says, well, I saw it on TV last night and it looked cool. So I said, okay. So I went up to the guy and I said, hey man, instead of going down, just flip over him. And the dancer was like, okay. So I learned a long time ago by one of a gentleman by the name of Otis Salit. He always said that sometimes when you're working on creative things, some people just want to put their fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Their thumbprint, just to say that they had a
something
hand.
to do with the choreography.
Sometimes, yeah. But you just do it.
But you don't strike me as the type that needs to steal ownership over something. You know who you are, what you can do, what you're good at, what you've done, and where you're going.
And I'm really good. I always ask the dancers as well. I say, look, if you have something, if it doesn't feel right on your body, or if there's a trick or something that you really like to do, let me know. We can incorporate that.
Yeah.
So it's a creative thing, and I think that's why rock and roll works so well. And if you get a chance to see it, I think you guys are gonna love it. Just seeing how everybody works. It's like a puzzle piece. Everything just fits.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Is that how you see it? Do you see things from above? Do you you don't look specifically? You kind of gloss over and.
But believe it or not, I look through things as through a camera lens. I look at shots. When I'm doing choreography, even for stage, I look at shots of like if they look to the right, if there was a camera there, would the audience be able to see that?
Yeah.
And what would that audience be getting?
Oh, interesting.
So I come from that mindset of I try to paint pictures and give them an illusion. Like, well, there's a part where we jump in the air and I say, pretend there's a camera up there and you're looking up at that. So little things like that. So that helps me.
I try to get a good understanding of what the show's about from Sean, and it was hard for him to explain it. How would you explain what the show's about?
Okay, to me, it's like a road trip. We have a host of a show. Something goes wrong and they have to leave this show and they want to continue clubbing and having a good time. So they all do a little road trip, and the road trip leads them to different places. Eventually, we get to where we want to go.
Okay.
But it's those adventures that we have in each location that really ties the whole thing together.
That's how it all comes together.
Yeah.
Hey, do you watch any of the dance shows on TV?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
You like them? What is Dancing with the Stars, Dancing with the
Okay,
Pigs,
let's talk about Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars to me feels a little unfair. And sometimes you get those boy band people who do dance, or you've had people who've had some training, and then you pair them up against an astronaut or someone who has never danced before.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair. So I like watching it though. I mean, the choreography is awesome.
And then there's Dance Off. Is that Dance Off going on Fox?
That's So You Think You Can Dance.
So I think that those kids are talented. I mean, that is That's hard.
Now they've had two versions of it. They had the regular So You Think You Can Dance, but now they have the other one, The Next Generation. I don't know if you've seen that
I have
one,
not.
but it's for the younger kids.
Oh wow.
So I kind of like the older ones better.
Okay.
I feel like they can do more. And with the
It's
younger
amazing what they. I'm not a dancer. I don't like dancing. I don't even bar mitzvah dance. Like I just don't dance. I'm just bad dancing. And then you see a show like that. I didn't even know the human body could do some of the things that they do.
And they
That
make
just-
it really look easy.
I have so much more respect for you who gets that, could teach that, could probably do that. I mean, that's insane.
Cool. Yeah, so I watch those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know what the next thing is for you?
You mean the next job?
Yeah, just sort of.
You know
all
what?
falls into
Thank
place.
God I'm an actor too. So, like, actually, right now, right before this started, I don't know if you're familiar with the term booking out. It's when you call your agency and you say, "Hey guys, I'm not going to be available for such and such day because I'm working on something." So I booked out 2 weeks for this.
Yeah.
The day I called them and said, "Hey, I'm booking out," she says, "Well, I got one audition. Can you do it? It's a self-tape." So I self-taped it. I got a call back. Now thinking like, I was like, this is not the one I'm going to get for a psychiatrist.
Oh wow.
And it's this Saturday. So, but I'll be ready for it because this is done. So for me, I thank God, I just do what I do,
Yeah.
give it 120%. I never let my jobs touch. I won't look at the script until this is done.
Smart.
It's in the drawer. I have not looked at it. I will before Saturday.
Yeah.
But I won't let my jobs touch. When I was in LA working on Henry Danger, I wouldn't touch this one. You know, I
Right.
keep everything separate so I can
Right.
dedicate the time to it. So this will be not done. I mean, I'll still continue to come and clean up and do whatever, but I have other things going on as well. So,
Same time.
because I think if you don't, you start worrying. You start, even if it's a hobby, if you paint, if you like to go dance, if you want to eat lunch with the Pope,
Yeah.
whatever it is you want to do, but you got to have other things to go on outside.
We're going to be at Maison Kaiser, I think. That might, or maybe at Penn Coty. I'm not sure yet.
And I'm
We're
glad
still
that it's
deciding.
now just a hobby of yours to have lunch with the Pope.
Yeah, to think of it.
It's like,
Lane, you're fantastic. You're so interesting and so refreshing and
Well, thank
so untainted by
Cool, I appreciate that.
all of
very
that.
much.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, can I ask you a question?
Anything you want.
Do you work out?
I do.
You look like it because when you said you didn't dance, I seriously thought you had a dancer body.
No, oh, wow, that is such a compliment.
Yeah,
Thank
and I meant
you.
that 100%.
No, I work out a ton, but I don't. I'm a terrible dancer.
Dang.
The worst. I wanted to. I used to work at the Today Show, and I did a whole piece on learning how to hip hop dance because they said we had to go do something on our passion.
Yeah.
I said I think I have the body for it. Like, you know, I want to move, I want to glide, I want to feel. And yeah, I sucked.
Wow.
It was really bad, and I really, really tried hard.
We had a woman from Good Morning America come, and she took tap class with me a few years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes they'll send you guys out
Right.
to do that, and then you try it. But
Yeah.
you seriously have a dancer body.
I love you.
Cool.
So thank you so much. You're amazing. This is Lane Napper. If you get a chance to check out the show or any work or project he's working on, you should totally do it because if your work is anything like your personality, it's just easy and smooth and perfect.
Thanks,
So
I appreciate that. And you can follow me on Instagram at Real Lane Napper. There's a poser out there, so it's not that one. It's
really,
Real.
there's a different Lane.
And
Napper?
there's a Facebook Lane Napper. It's not me.
Really?
I don't have Facebook. Yeah, dude, I got posers, man. It's crazy.
That means you made it. You know that means you've made it.
Oh, all right.
You have made it.
Watch out, posers.
All right, we're gonna take a break and take some pictures, and we'll be right back. That's awesome. You're very cool.
Go, girl. Thank you so much.
You did amazing.
Man, you're so easy.
Thank you.
And your skin is flawless. You better work that skin.
I don't have anything
you have the camera
on.
live stuff.
Oh, snap.
Let's take a picture.
One camera stays, just so everybody should know, one camera
I
stays
can do
live.
this.
Oh, we're gonna, oh, okay. I'll take it.
That's all I can do.
I'll do That's it. So you gotta do it as part of this.
I'll actually do that again in a second. Let me get the video.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, and I can do the cat too.
Man, you should teach her dance moves.
I'm so bad at it. Like I can barely do this. I'm like a white Jewish girl trying to do Michael Jackson.
Oh, snap.
Look at that. That's good.
It is?
You know what? Let me give you one thing. Let me give you one. I promise. It'll be easy peasy lemon
All
squeeze.
right, here we go.
This is your mobile thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And it's like this what we do like in the show. It's all about attitude, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
just slow walks. That's all you gotta do is hold it. And lead with the chest. It's 4. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, and just keep your focus there. And like now, just imagine though, you have 4 backup male dancers, and they're watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just give me those 4 walk. Lead with that chin and chest, girl. Ready? 5, 6, 7.
I'm so nervous.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
8. That's it. That's all you
Then
got.
what
boo.
happens? A backstreet?
Oh, no. You hit the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 4 poses. And you have a count for each one. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Like just give me 4 poses, 4 counts each. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now imagine 4 dancers next to you.
Okay.
It's hot. So you have the 4 walks,
Yeah.
right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm just making a pose.
And
2,
I'm following
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what do you like to do? You like to work out, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can use those as your inspiration.
Okay.
So maybe at the gym, maybe you look at yourself in the mirror, maybe put your hands here, maybe cross, and look there. There you go. 1, 2. Then repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take it. 5, 6, 7, and then maybe sit in that last one. Ow, give me that. Ow. Get this knee up. Pop that heel. That's it. And then sit back in that head, boo. And
See
then
how
step
there's nothing sexy about me?
No, it is. And then you step and look back. Ow, that's what I'm talking about, boo. That's what I'm talking about right there.
It looks like I'm having a lower body stroke.
No, it
Is what it
doesn't.
looks like.
No, I'm telling you, you had those 4 dancers next to you. Like, do that pose again.
I honestly feel like 10 minutes with you and I will learn something.
See,
You're so easy
I just
to
wish
learn.
that we had those other dancers here, because, girl, we would build a show around this.
Oh yeah, that's
Jenna,
hilarious.
there's another 7 minutes and 34 seconds left, and then you have 10 minutes with one. So, let's go.
I don't even understand what any of that
You
means.
have another 7. You said if you had 10 minutes, you would have it. You have another
Oh,
7
gotcha,
minutes to go.
gotcha.
But you see what I'm saying?
Thank
Let's
you,
go.
Kat. Thank
Come on,
you,
girl.
Kat.
If you just, maybe just one pose, one of those poses, I don't care which one.
Okay.
Just make a bit, just inhale, just
Really this insecure when it comes to dancing.
Just give me that. Okay, cool. So if you did that, what I would have, if you did, I would have one of the guys maybe like this on you, or maybe have one of the guys like this on you. You see what I'm saying? So we would build it around you.
Oh yeah.
You know, have one guy down here, maybe on your leg, looking up at you. Now you're feeling it. I'm feeling you
Yeah,
too.
I'm feeling
I
you
see
right
you.
now.
I
I'm
see
feeling
you,
you.
boo.
I'm feeling
So it's
you.
that kind of thing. So
Okay.
that's how we build these dances.
But you have a talent pool that's ridiculously just deep, and you could say try this, and they try it. You told me to try it, and I'm in
But
traction.
you tried it.
I know, but I'm very insecure with this stuff. I just very insecure with anything like sexy and sex appeal.
I just
But
wish
if
I
you
had
asked me to
known.
do like
I would have bought Beyonce Wannabe and Cooper with me, and we would have done something with her. I'm kidding you not. I wish I had known this. I'm so upset that I didn't know this. Cool.
yeah,
Great.
so that happens.
Keep this girl awesome.
Hey, so we're having auditions. If you wanted to
This is
audition
my
to be
move.
a bad,
This is
you know,
my
if
move.
this doesn't work out, you can be in the show.
Here's my move. Ready?
Oh, y'all better get this.
1, 2. That's my move. It's the like the handstand.
Right?
That's hot.
Now, see, what we would have done, the first thing I would have had 2 guys. And when
Yeah.
you did the first kick, do those 2 kick things, I would have had 2 guys do this with you. Cool. Then you would have went down.
Yeah.
And then when you came back up,
Yeah.
I would have had the guy standing right there to help you up.
Oh, nice.
You feel me?
I feel you so
That kind of stuff.
much. I have so much feel him. There's so much of me feeling him right now.
Love it.
A lot of touching, a lot of inappropriate touching. It's all the feeling. It's what's happening there.
Yay, Ray!
Right, come on down, dude.
We did the show. You can come back with Beyonce Jr. and
Beyonce Wannabe.
And,
Beyonce
and
wanted
Kim,
And
Kim
Kim Possible, yes.
Possibly.
Wait,
we
can we
do
do
the show
pictures?
daily.
I know.
I think we should be back more. I look like I have a halo on my head.
Nice.
We
Nice
did.
lighting.
Awesome. This is has to be the worst angle, but you do your thing.
I'm sorry, just smile. One second.
I mean, like,
Jen, I
you
forgot
guys
to
are
say
like, It's
smile.
gonna be big thigh, look like a smirk. Alright, here we go.
Smirk pictures. Yes, I'm like the opposite plane.
No, no, please be careful. I'm afraid you're going to
I
step
know,
back.
You will.
I said I'm the opposite plane. You had to see me, by the way, this weekend. The light in my garage went out, and there's a little step, and I didn't know the step was there. I tripped, I banged my head right into there's a wall, like right where you are. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm done.
You're a moron. She's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Anyway.
I don't think you're.
Awesome.
Oh wait.
That was cool. He's fantastic. You're
Isn't
right.
he amazing?
No,
You're right. You're
We're
so
so lucky.
You are lucky.
Every day we're like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And I gotta go teach.
Okay.
I'm gonna be ready at BDC. If you guys.
Broadway Dance Center.
Oh, gotcha.
For sure.
You're so awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you very
Be in touch.
Yeah, seriously, like,
I'm gonna give you a card just in case.
Yeah.
You know, if you're ever around and you're doing something, whatever, just holler.
Love it.
I'll help you out, whatever. If you need me, I need you, whatever. We'll hook it
Yeah,
up.
absolutely.
Cool.
Yes.
I love you.
Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Lane,
it.
great meeting you,
Appreciate
man.
it. Connor, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah, let me know.
I think I know.
We're both from Virginia.
We're both from
We're
Virginia.
both from Virginia.
But I swear, when I was growing up in Virginia, it was the boy named Connor.
Stop.
I can't make this up. First thing I said to him when I came up, I said,
He said, like, where are you from? Like, he was just like,
So it's him.
Are you a secret dancer? And you took
that's what I said. I thought maybe his sister.
maybe you saw him hanging out with Brooke Shields. You hang out with the Pope here.
One of my old teachers used to date Bush.
You being serious?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if that's like the same.
Well, do you know what your teacher's name?
Jay Wood. He used to live up here in New York, and we dated her, and then we moved back home to Virginia and taught like English.
And he shared pictures of Connor.
Did you ever come up to New York with him?
No. I came out when I was younger, but with my family.
Okay. This is alright.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's
Past life.
yeah.
I'll figure it out. But anyway. Alright, I gotta go. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful rest of the day.
All right,
Thank
we'll see
you
you
so much for your
tonight.
time.
Thank you, Rick. See you
Cool.
tonight.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool. Alright, I'll see you. Thanks for
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, guys. See y'all. Thanks again.
Bye, thank you.
We'll figure it out. Alright.